Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. I'm your host, Terry Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist. And this show gives you the tools to help you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. It's episode 51, and today we are joined by Misty Young, a former restaurant owner and now plant-based advocate who went from being overweight to inspiring and helping thousands of people on their health journeys. Misty is co-author of the fabulous book Sad to Glad and a vibrant guide to a healthful lifestyle through whole foods, plant-based nutrition. Misty, welcome. Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. Guess what? You are my first guest, episode 51, and you're my first guest. So yay!
That's exciting. Thank you for having me. It's really a thrill to be here, Terry. Thank you.
So this is your new book. It's called Sad to Glad. Can you just tell us why you titled it Sad to Glad?
You know, it's a transformation process, right? We transform ourselves from SAD, the standard American diet, to GLAD.
So that's the acronym, yeah?
Yeah, the standard American diet from SAD, and through the consumption of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices, we go to the other side of the spectrum. So from SAD, standard American diet, to GLAD, the glowing lifestyle all deserve.
That's fantastic. The glowing lifestyle we all deserve. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So before we jump into the book, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your story. I mentioned before that you are a former restaurant owner and you were overweight. So what happened? Tell us your story.
Oh, the short version is I bought a restaurant. At the time I bought the restaurant, I weighed a very slender 155 pounds, which looks fantastic on a 5'11" woman. And I bought the restaurant and promptly gained over 50 pounds. I don't even want to say, but it was like closer to 70. I hope I whispered that loud enough. Yeah. So I kind of had to really look at what was going on. You know, I started having heart palpitations and high blood pressure and water on my knees and gallbladder attacks and kidney stones and like all kinds of things. And I kept thinking, wow, you know, what happened here? And I kind of realized, you know, you remember back in the political campaigns where they said, it's the economy, stupid, right? And I kind of looked at the situation and I said, it must be the food. Well, that was the biggest change that had happened in my life. And the restaurant it's a traditional breakfast place, right? Ham, bacon, sausage, chicken, cheese, turkey, eggs, sour cream, all the things. And I had people who wanted to feed me really well and healthy. And so I was eating those things all the time. And, when I finally kind of realized it was the food, I started making changes, incremental at first, and then more massive, and then boom, to where I'm at today, which is I've taken off the weight. I feel great. That's the very short version of the story. I'll tell you the whole food plant-based side of it if you want.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So a lot of people, they can't lose weight. They say, I try really hard. I can't lose weight. I can't, I don't know what to do. But you did it in a way that was not too difficult. Do you think it was not too difficult, or?
Well, I was never hungry. Let's say that.
Right, okay.
I think most of us say, oh, I can't lose weight. And then we go, because I'll be hungry. But I was never hungry. You know, when I see the things that are around the edges of the screen, zucchini and broccoli and bell peppers and potatoes and, carrots and asparagus and lemons and all those things, I ate all those things in massive quantity. I was never hungry and the weight literally fell off.
So that's what you did. You transitioned from the standard American diet to a whole foods plant-based lifestyle?
I did, and it took a little time, right? I mean, for me, I didn't get it all at once. It took some time. So I read a book. I mean, here's the really gross thing. I'm going to tell you something really gross, okay? Because gross is kind of fun.
Please. Yes.
I read a book. The book is called Skinny Bitch. I read
that book
now, right? It was a good book. And at the end of the book, they started talking about there being pus in milk. And I was like, what? I was so grossed out by that. I'm like, what do you mean there's pus in milk? So I did a little research, went to Google, and sure enough, there's an acceptable and minimum and maximum level of pus in milk. And I was like, that's it, that I am never having another drop of milk ever again. So that was milk. But I didn't think about cheese, which is just concentrated milk, right?
That's so right. 750 million pus cells per liter. I've done the research too.
Oh, gross. Oh, I'm gagging right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't think about cheese. So I cut out the milk. I was like, yeah, look at me, I'm doing almond milk. We got some
Sorry.
music. There we go. So I got rid of the milk and I started drinking almond milk. That was the first change. Then I kind of realized, oh, cheese is just concentrated milk. So I let the cheese go. Then I let the eggs go. Then I let the beef go. Then I let the turkey and chicken go. And it took a long time, but eventually, over a period of a few years, I went completely vegan. But I was still overweight. In fact, I was still obese, even though I was vegan, because I was technically a junk food vegan, right? Oreo cookies are vegan. French fries are vegan.
Fries.
Fritos are vegan. Lay's potato chips,
Yes.
oh girl, they're vegan, right? But they're not healthy.
No.
And so I started studying nutrition. I still wasn't doing it right. I had the T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies certificate. I was like a whole food plant-based certificate holder. Still wasn't doing it right. And I met Nurse Sherry and she said, so what are you eating? And I said, oh, look at all my special vegan foods. And she's like, yeah, no.
So for those who don't know Nurse Sherry, she is the co-author of the book, and here she is on the back here with Misty. I'm going to go closer to the camera.
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There she is. There she is. Right.
I know. I like to
there.
show her on the front side too.
She's on the front.
On the front,
And so she's your co-author. And
yes.
So how did she put you on the straight and narrow? What did she tell you that you were doing that was not helping your health?
She said, you're still eating a highly processed foods that are not whole foods. I mean, you're thinking they're whole foods because you're still thinking vegan. But what you need to do is switch your thinking to whole foods. And I'm like, well, this is whole foods. I mean, these foods are made with soybeans and vegetables. And she said, they're not whole foods. They're highly processed foods. They've been, had a lot of additives put into them, high salt, high fat, high sugar, high oil. And then the oil thing was really the biggest thing that I learned. So as I started weeding out what I call the transition foods, right? The Boca burgers, the Impossible burgers, the chicken nuggets, there's no E in that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Started weeding those things out. The weight started to come off a little bit. And Sherry kept saying to me, Nurse Sherry kept saying, really, it's going to be a lot of the fats that you're consuming. So by then I had really transitioned over. I'm like, oh yeah, I love peanut butter. I love cashews, pumpkin seeds, and all those things. She's like, you kind of have to measure those things.
Yes.
Yeah. And so once I really, made that transition, that's when it all sort of clicked. It all clicked. And I was like, oh, this is it. And then I got very, very, very vibrant. My energy levels shot up. My body weight shot down. My this is so exciting. This part's exciting. My BMI went into the normal category where it had not been since 2004 when I bought the restaurant, and just so many other things that were just fantastic. That was really essentially the process.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? So I have clients that say that the weight is a side effect of this lifestyle, and that the thing that they really love about it is that they get more energy, and particularly aches and pains. I don't know if you had any aches and pains, but I have clients who have aches and pains, and they said they just disappear. Oh, like they wake up one morning and their neck doesn't hurt from sleeping, or their shoulders don't hurt, or whatever. It's amazing. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. So you mentioned in the book actually that it's not just a case of throwing out the junk and putting in the good stuff. You actually have to change your mind. So do you want to elaborate a little bit about how you change your mind to a healthier mindset?
Yeah, I'd love to. There's so many things that come about on that idea. I like to say that there's a couple of ways we can operate our lives, right? One is we can operate on default. Default's super easy. We just kind of cruise along, right? I'm just operating on default. Or we could choose to operate by design. That's harder. It's much harder to operate by design. And when you operate by design, you're very intentional about what you're putting in here. So what you allow to come in here and allow to come in here affects everything about you in your entire energy field. Your entire field is affected by your thinking. And we get to pick our thinking, right? This is huge. Well, whether we live our life by design or default is huge, because once we realize that we have that power to decide, then we have responsibility, right? So with great knowledge comes great responsibility and great opportunity. That's the part I really want people to hear from this message is you get to pick it. you get to decide, am I going to do life by default? Because you know what? The fact is, chocolate shakes taste great. Oh my gosh, they fire off, they do, right? They fire off all these fun, happy, exciting things, and they give you tons of energy right now. And I don't know, it's been a long time since I've had a Big Mac, but I remember they tasted so good and they made me want to come back for more, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at those things, they're default. They're default. And they give you it's interesting when we talk about SAD, Standard American Diet, it also stands for the standard American diseases that we get when we eat the standard American diet, right? So when we're eating chocolate chip cookies every day, or chocolate shakes and French fries and cheeseburgers, we're going to get the standard American diseases that come along with it. So the easiest way to change a habit is to begin by changing your internal environment right here. You have to change your mind first. Once you do that, everything else falls into place pretty easily. Changing your mind, I think, is the hardest part.
It is the hardest part. And there is going to be, and I think it's really important for people to understand this, that there is going to be some internal resistance. Yep. So if you, for example, if you have a religion and it says you can't do a certain thing, there's nothing anybody can say or do that will make you do that thing that you don't want to do, whatever that thing is, because in your heart and in your mind, this is your moral compass, your beliefs.
It's a line you won't cross.
There's that line. You're not going to do it. Yeah. And so I think when it comes to changing your health, you have to get to that point where you are totally immersed and totally believe that what you are doing is beneficial for you, and that you trust the process so that you won't cross that line. For example, I don't know about you, and you're probably like me, when you drive down any highway in America, every exit has Burger King, Cinnabon, Wendy's, whatever it is, that it doesn't pull me in. I don't drive down the road going, oh, Cinnabon, you know what I mean? Like, I better go and get one. But that's what it does to people driving down the road, or when you see those signs, only 50 more miles till Chick-fil-A or something. Just like, yeah, like who cares? Like for me, it means nothing to me, wasted advertising on me, because that's a line I will not cross. And for some people, that's really, really, really hard. So do you have any tips for somebody who is trying to get healthy, but still has that pull towards the bad food? What do you think that they could do? For example, let's say a driving trip. What could they do on a driving trip that would help them not pull over to the side of the road and get that burger or that chocolate shake?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I really love that you brought up the religious aspect of it. You know, I'm kind of religious about whole food, plant-based. Like this is my religion. And eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, whole grains, legumes, you know, herbs and spices, all of that. This is my religion. And I'm literally on a mission about it. And I mean that literally, not figuratively, like this is my mission. And so a couple of things that can be helpful. One, there are some fast food places that you can go to. There are
snappy salads, everybody, snappy salads.
Okay, so we don't have snappy salads here on the West Coast, but I think Subway is everywhere. Now, I'm not a big lover of Subway, right? But if you are stuck, and this is an awesome thing to say, like you're stuck, you have no other options, because I'm going to bust that myth out in about 10 seconds. But if you're stuck and you have no other options, slip into a Subway, get a whole wheat or a whole grain bun, have no mayonnaise put on it, have every vegetable that they have them slap it and pack it with the vegetables, have them put some mustard on it, a little vinegar if you want. I'm not even kidding to tell you, my mouth is starting to water.
Have you not had breakfast yet?
I have not had breakfast, my mouth is watering. So if you're stuck and that's what you have the option to do that. Another option is a place like Chipotle. You know, go into Chipotle, they have all kinds of vegetable items. I'm not going to say they're healthy, but they're healthier, right? Yes. If you have corn salsa and you have pinto beans and you put them into a bowl with lettuce, come on now, those are some options. But here's the
just stay away from the cheese and the sour cream,
Right. There's a grocery store in every town.
That's
Look
right.
at the picture around this video. The vegetables you see there are all nourishing, all supporting. In
Mm.
fact, carrots are so easy. When we go on a trip, this is what we have with us. We have apples, we have carrots, we have oranges for sure, those things. We always have some kind of nuts, pumpkin seeds or cashews or walnuts. Those are always easy to take with us. We always have bottles of water. We always carry water with us. And of course, it's always got some fun label on the front like unity, radiance, action, transcendence, joy. We'll talk about that someday. That's a very
Yeah, there's your
exciting thing to talk
mind.
about. Um, we always take our own snacks and our own food with us. Grapes travel well. Think about the things that travel well. We have a little kit that goes with us. We carry our own plates, our own cups, and our own silverware and our own napkins. It just lives in the car. That way, if
Yeah.
we stop at a grocery store, if we didn't bring something with us, which we usually do, we can stop at a grocery store and put something together rapidly. One last tip. You can drop a salad into a big Ziploc baggie, put your dressing on the side, pour the dressing in, stop for a picnic, pour the dressing in, shake it up in the salad, drop it out on 2 plates, and boom, you're golden. So,
I
you
thought
know,
I
when
was the only person that kept their salads in a Ziploc baggie.
no, it works, right? So did I not just smash the whole, I'm stuck, there's nothing to
Yeah.
eat. You're in charge and you have to decide again, is your life, is it big enough to be on purpose? To be living by design, or is it casual enough to be on default and like, well, I'll take my chances with my health? Dude, if you don't have health, you have nothing.
Yes,
Nothing, right? Like
that's
being
right.
confined to a bed is not fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I've
Okay.
got a question for you. What
Yes.
about protein? Where are you going to get your protein? There's no protein in
Well,
fruits and vegetables.
there's protein in,
I know there
fruits
is.
and vegetables. And I know, I totally know, and I know that's kind of a trick question. It's a funny one that, all people in the whole food plant-based community, we all laugh and talk about that all the time, but it is factual that people will ask that question all the time. Where are you going to get your protein? There's even protein in apples. I keep a jar of dried apple chips on my desk. Why? Because if I'm sitting here and I'm hungry and I don't want to run downstairs, oh, look, there's some apple chips on the desk. I could just eat those.
Mm.
There's protein in all of those foods. Everything you see on the screen, not in massive quantities, but I'm going to go out on a limb right here. And I'm just going to say this. We've been fed a myth about protein. We've been fed, actually, I'm not even going to say it's a myth. It's a full-on lie that
Yes.
we've been given, that's been driven by an industry that makes massive money on protein, on the slaughtering of animals and the feeding of people to have this protein that you have to have. Do you need protein? You do. Can you get plenty from fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, herbs, whole grains, all of those things? Yes, you can get plenty. You do not need it. In fact, if you read the China study, which we're doing a book study on right now, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, who wrote this book, he talks about how he went out on a research project, short version of this story. This is a 600-page book, I think. And the short version of his story, it's 500 pages. He went out on a research mission to figure out why all these kids were dying of cancer. And he thought it was going to be because they weren't getting enough protein. But contrary, he found out that the wealthiest kids were the ones that were getting this cancer and dying. And they were the ones that had the access to the most protein. And protein, literally animal protein, animal-based protein, triggers a cascade reaction in our bodies that literally is carcinogenic. So
yeah,
you're going to get your protein by all the things around the edges of the screen.
That's true. Now, in the book also, you have designed a pyramid. I'm really excited to talk about this pyramid. I've actually got the page here. I'll see if I can get it up to this. So there's the pyramid.
Yes, I love
and it's
that
called
pyramid.
the Natural Nutrition Pyramid. Now, this is in opposition, I guess, to the USDA food pyramid somewhat, but it doesn't just have nutrition in it. So I expected to see this pyramid. When I saw the pyramid, I saw the picture on the page and I thought, oh, it's going to have, grains on the bottom, fruits and vegetables, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't. Right. And I'll just tell everybody what it's got on the pyramid. So on the bottom, the largest part of the pyramid is nutrition. So that's the most important thing. And then the next thing on the pyramid is action. So that's doing the things, eating the nutrition, right? The next thing is thoughts, which we talked about a second ago, what you think about becomes your reality. And if I just don't mind me, Misty, I'm just going to do a little plug for my next week's podcast. It's with Willeen Dunn, and she is going to be talking about how your thoughts become your reality. So we're going to delve into that. Yeah, that's next week. So that's going to be great. Then I'm going to let you explain the last 4, because the words are interesting. Union, restoration, activity, and liquid. And it took me a while, but actually all those things, let me get close, that's an acronym for natural.
Yes.
It took me a while to work that out. So let's talk about union.
You know, if we have a place, if we come to a place of unconditional love and union, when I said earlier, like, this is my mission, I'm religious about it, I can't be selfish and just do this for me. Like, it'd be real easy, right, to just like kind of put on my blinders and be like, yeah, well, I'm going to be healthy, me personally, I'm not going to tell anybody about it. No, it's important to me to share this information with other people. Why? Because all of us are better than one of us. All of us together are stronger than some of us. When we get together and we have progress, we're not only helping our own selves, we're helping animals and we're helping the planet. So union to me is really important. It's about unconditional love, and it's about strength in numbers, people moving together down a path.
And community. And in fact, you have your own community on Facebook. Do you want to give it a plug?
Sure. We are, Nurse Sherry and I are co-founders of a small Facebook group called the Whole Food Plant-Based Lifestyle for Beginners. It has been growing at an absolutely phenomenal pace, and you can find it on Facebook. Just type in Whole Food Plant-Based Lifestyle for Beginners and boom, you will find us.
And she's kind of lying a bit. It's not a small Facebook group. It's got, like, last time I looked, it had over 9,000 members. So
we just capped 10,200. So we're
congratulations.
Growing really rapidly.
That's great.
What that tells me is that people are searching for what we offer, Terry. People are saying, how can I get healthy? I like to believe, and your guest next week, I know we'll talk about this. I believe that our thoughts do create our reality, and that what we think about expands. And I think right now, in the collective field of consciousness of humanity globally, there's a giant question mark. I think that's the right way. I'm trying to figure out how to do a question mark on screen, right? There's a giant question mark in the field of humanity right now that says, what can I do to protect my health? What more can I do to help protect against pathogens and bacteria and viruses? How can I best serve my body's health? And so people are looking, and they're hearing little things like, oh, if you eat plants, it helps you. Oh, well, if you don't eat so many animals. And so they're really actively searching. That's why I think the group is growing.
Yeah, well, congratulations. And it's a fantastic group. And I urge anybody who's interested to join it, because Misty is a force of nature and she's always putting out fantastic stuff. And also, she's so very generous. She's started this fantastic campaign, which is about talking to your doctor. This is going off track, but go to the Facebook group and have a look. And she's got a fantastic campaign, and it says, "Talk to your doctor. Are grapes right for you?" Side effects include being more healthy, better blood control, blood sugar control, etc., etc. It's magnificent. I love it. Okay, restoration. Explain to me what restoration means.
You know, we always want to say sleep, don't we? But it's not just sleep. It's rest and restoration. It's play too. We have to have downtime in our lives. And in today's 24/7, always connected, never a sleeping news cycle kind of life, where we go to bed with our phone at the very last moment, checking those last little messages, and, you know, it's too much, right? We've got to have some downtime. We have to unplug. We have to unwire. We have to decompress. And the restoration part is not just sleep. It's rest and restoration. It's play. It's doing everything we can to give ourselves a break from the constant onslaught of modern society. Do we love it? We do. Is it awesome? It is. Are we accelerated? We totally are. But we have to decompress. We have to realize that we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, and both our spirit and our physicality need some downtime.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, activity, my favorite thing. You see, I'm in my gym at the moment, and I've got my equipment there behind me, and I've got my bike here, and my wobble machine back there. And I love exercise. I'm a ex-personal trainer, so I'm assuming that activity is exercise.
Well, if we're going to talk about it, then I have since turned on, because I don't like to do this all the time while I'm working and talking, but I have turned on my treadmill. So I am talking to
Excellent.
you on my treadmill desk. Yes, activity is critical, right? So
I
a
love it.
couple of the things that Nurse Sherry got me going on right away, that the two things that made the biggest difference for me, three. Get rid of the processed foods, the highly processed foods, right? Really swap out to whole foods. That was number one. Number two, she said, you've got to get the oils out of your diet. That was huge. And number three, she said, you need to add some activity, more activity. I don't like the E word. I'm not like you. I don't dig on exercise. My nature, my personal human nature, even with all this energy, I am very energetic. I have not even finished my first cup of coffee yet today. This is my natural energetic state. But I'm sedentary by nature. I really
Right.
am. I'm sedentary by nature. I would like to sit in that big old cozy chair back there and read my book and meditate. So I have to put ways of getting activity into my life. And some of the things that Nurse Sherry taught me that I really love is you can do habit stacking, which is one of the things I love. I have an electronic toothbrush, right? Most people do these days, right? Electric toothbrush. It goes for 2 minutes, 4 cycles, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. And I do squats while I'm doing my toothbrushing, right? So I'm doing my squats, dun, 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 and I'm moving my arm back and forth. Or if I'm working at my desk, most times I'm walking at my desk. It's a little bit sometimes irritating when you're on a call like this. So I'll turn it off for now because I don't
Yeah.
want that to
And if you're
distract.
writing, it's a bit hard to kind of
It can be,
writing.
although I have really learned how to type and
Oh, good
and
for
to walk at the
you.
same time, which is great. But the other thing she taught me about activity, and I know as a personal trainer, as someone who's done this before, talk to us about this. It doesn't have to be a big sweaty session right
No.
now for 60 minutes. And now this is the thing that always bugged me, is like, now I'm all sweaty and I gotta wash my hair. I didn't like that, but I can do a 20-minute loop in my neighborhood. Boom. I could do 15 minutes here, which usually this turns into 3 hours. I can go hit my elliptical. I can hit the ROM machine. I can do all these things and I can kind of circuit train it out. If I do an hour a day, I'm great.
Yeah,
Right?
that's fantastic. And you know what? This is really good if anybody has kids and you want them to do your homework or practice their flute or violin or whatever. Just say, honey, just do it for 5 minutes. Because once it's the
Yeah.
inertia that is the difficult
Right.
thing. So it's the same with exercise. You get over the inertia and you put on some funky music and you realize you're having a really good time. Yeah.
You
And
know what,
I
Terry?
now, sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
no.
interrupt you, but you were talking about the kids. I want to say something that I thought was really cool. Last week was my 60th birthday, and my
Happy birthday.
grandkids were all here. Thank you. Everybody joined in to celebrate my birthday. One of the things that we did was we had a dance mat, right? So that the lights up and then you dance and you hit all the things. So the dance mat was upstairs in one of our rooms where we do exercise, which happens to be in our bedroom. We've got our elliptical. We've got a beautiful view. The elliptical looks out over the view. We have a jumper, one of those rebounder jumpers, and the dance
Yeah.
mat came up. And there were the kids. And there was me. I felt like taking a nap, but we were having this great conversation. And I said, oh, well, let me try the dance mat. So I was on the dance mat. One kid was on the jumper and another kid was on the elliptical. And we started, the three of us, doing this little rotation. So we can teach and model those behaviors for our kids too. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I couldn't help it. I had to say that.
No, that's fine. That is absolutely magnificent. I think modeling behavior is very important. And in fact, you talk about that in the book about what if other people in the house are not doing the lifestyle as well. And I think that and in fact in your Facebook group, a lot of people ask this very same question, such as, my husband doesn't do it, or I'm getting kickback from people, particularly
Yes.
over Thanksgiving. All the people saying, why don't you have a little bit of turkey? Why don't you have a little bit of apple pie and blah, 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 blah. And your response is always,
I want to be healthy. I don't want to be right. I just want to be healthy. You do you, I'll do me. But this is the other thing that happens. They're watching you, right? They're watching you. They're saying, well, you could have some turkey and gravy. You could. And the answer is, yeah, I sure could. I could. But I choose not to.
Yeah.
And I choose to put things in my body that are health supportive. And here's the thing. They might roll their eyes at you or call you even a name. They might say, oh, you're a militant vegan. They might do all that stuff. But slyly behind the scenes, they are watching you. They are looking at you. They are wanting to see what happens in your life. And as you begin to grow and glow and shine and have more energy and less aches and pains and you feel great, they're going to say, well, I mean, I know I was negative before, but could you tell me what you're doing, please? They're going to beg you to tell
Yeah.
them what you're doing, right? They're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happened to me
Eventually.
already.
Well, that's
Yes.
fantastic. That's fantastic. And the last thing was liquid in the pyramid. There's the pyramid. The last
Yeah.
thing is liquid. And it was really funny when I first looked at this. I was like, what does she mean, liquid?
Well, let's go there. Let's just go there. You know, the first thing I'm going to say is alcohol is not your friend. So if you're watching this and you're looking at me and you're going, dang, you know, she's got a lot of energy. That's right. And I'm just going to tell you this. I am not a sober Sally, although I am. I am not going to push this on you, although I am. I'm going to just say
Yes.
this. For me, in the past, when I used to be a drinker, remember, my family owns a restaurant company, right? We buy champagne by the pallet, So champagne was always easily and freely available. And I had cases and cases and cases. I had a wall of wine and champagne in my garage at home. So I did plenty of my share of drinking. Not an alcoholic, no rock bottom, no DUI, no story, no nothing. Just one day, several years ago, I kind of woke up and I said, you know, I think I could feel better if I didn't drink. So I'm really going to encourage you. This is totally sidebar, and I'm doing it anyway. There's coming up on sober January or dry January or whatever they call it.
Oh, is there?
Give it
Oh,
a
I didn't know about that.
try. Give it a
Yeah.
try. Just try it. See if you could go without. Here's the thing I noticed for me in my life. I love getting stuff done. I call it the GSD factor, right? I'm going to get stuff done. So when I want to get stuff done, I just get at it. But the minute I started drinking, whether it was a beer, a glass of wine, I was kind of a beer and wine girl. I wasn't really into hard stuff, champagne. As soon as the cocktail started, all forward progress stopped. And I noticed that over the last few years of drinking, I noticed that. So I just said, I think I could feel better. I'll stop drinking, and just made a decision one day and stopped. It was probably the best decision I ever made. I'm not big on soda. I'm going to encourage you to drop soda out. Just get rid of it. It does not serve you. What about diet? I heard you ask that. Well, what about diet? It doesn't serve you. It's terrible for you. It tricks your body into thinking you're having sugar, water. And even if it's diet, your body still thinks it's sugar, and it responds the same way. Here's what I want to encourage you to drink. Yes, I'm going to say coffee. You could have coffee. I'm really going to start with water as much as you can. Don't make it one of those things where like, oh, I got to pee every 10 seconds kind of thing. Like, just drink water while you're thirsty. If you're thirsty, drink water. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of teas, green teas, herbal teas. Get your water in on those ways, and drink your coffee. Don't drink juice. It's just flavored sugar. It tastes great, but it's just a massive hit of sugar on your body. So liquid, water, it's the foundation. The other things are
I love
helpful, but water.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, Misty, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you today. I'm going to plug your book again. It's called Sad to Glad, A Vibrant Guide to a Healthful Lifestyle Through Whole Foods, Plant-Based Nutrition. It's got a whole bunch of recipes in the back as well, which is really good in case you're just starting. And it also has, which I thought was pretty cool, the vitamin and mineral pages, which actually tell you what all the vitamins and minerals are that you need and why you need them in your body. So why do I have to eat the broccoli? Why do I have to eat the red peppers? But you know what I say to my clients? I say, if you don't like red peppers, just eat tomatoes, because they got the same stuff in them, because they're red.
If get a little lycopene, baby.
Exactly. If you don't like broccoli, then just eat kale. And if you don't like kale, then just eat collards. And if you don't like collards, just eat spinach. Like, there's so many different things. And anyway, so I really, I love this book. How do people get this book? They can get it. I bought mine on Amazon, but how else can
you can get it on
Amazon?
Two other ways. If you came over to the Whole Food Plant-Based Lifestyle for Beginners Facebook group, and you go up into the guides tab, you can get the book free with shipping. So what that means is you'll pay for the shipping only, but you'll get a couple extra bonuses. It also means I'm personally going to mail the book to you. I have a few cases of the books here at my house. I will personally mail them to you, and you'll get a couple of cool bonuses with it. So just head over to the Facebook group, go to the guides tab, grab the book.
Sounds good. Or you can get it on my website, because I've got an Amazon store and it's there as well on Fabulous Health, fabuloushealth.net. You'll pay a little bit more for it, but I might get $1.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Or not.
Terry. Thank you.
I don't know. I'm really new to this Amazon store thing. So, Misty, thank you so much today. You have just been an abundance of energy and love and light. And I'm just so happy to have you on my show. And
Thank you.
I will see you shortly. Thank you so much for joining
Sounds great.
Fabulous
Thank
Health.
you, Terry. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Next week on the Fabulous Health Show, I'm going to be speaking to a lovely lady, a friend of mine called Willeen Dunn. She is a serial entrepreneur. She has her fingers in so many things, but she is really, really good at helping people be their best life through the things that they think in their mind. She talks about words having meanings and how the words in your head can create the actions in your life. And I'm doing a terrible job butchering what she's going to talk about next week. But I urge you to join in next week, same time. It's going to be 10 a.m. US Central Time at 9 a.m. Tune in for Willeen Dunn. Okay, thanks very much. Have a great day.